I arrived in Portugal in April 2 years ago. I started to walk everywhere to get to know the city and its beautiful sceneries and sunsets, but one thing really caught my eye on the streets. These flowers drawn on many walls, sometimes with the number 25. They were on advertisement, art pieces, souvenirs, many local stores had themed decorations, and I finally realized they were red carnations, or claveles as we call them in Spanish. But I was still intrigued about why these flowers were everywhere. So let me tell you this story while I make a tiny silver version. After the First World War, the Portuguese society was really affected with poverty, war-obsessed politicians, and especially the deep fall of the country's economy. That's how the Estado Novo was born, a dictatorship guided by Salazar, which lasted more than 40 years, bringing a long period of censorship, persecution, torture, senseless colonial wars, and conveniently unfair trials. After suffering decades of oppression and with a man named Caetano as the successor of the regime, the military forces were desperate to finish the abuse and lost cause of the colonial wars in Africa. So they joined forces and organized a coup to finally go back to democracy. The coup was planned to happen on April 25th by giving signals through songs on radio broadcast. The first was a really popular song at that moment, played on the night of the 24th to let the troops know the coup was almost ready. And the second song was on the first hour of the 25th, a song banned by the regiment called Grândola Vila Morena, a poem dedicated to a tragedy occurred in a southern village, saying that the power should be in the hands of people.
Their liberties.
This song was the final sign for the troops to get in position, start the coup to siege the dictator in Lisbon, and put an end to the oppression, leading to a peaceful democratic transformation in the Portuguese society. Now, what about the flowers? There's a story of a lady called Celeste, who was a waitress in a restaurant in the city center. The place was celebrating their first anniversary and they planned to give flowers to the customers. So Celeste went out early in the morning like any other day, took a lot of red carnations to work, and when she arrived, her boss sent her home immediately because there was a revolution happening and the streets were full of militaries. The lady in shock took the flowers back home, and on her way she came across a group of soldiers waiting hours on the siege. One of them asked her for a cigarette, but as she didn't smoke, all she could offer him was one of her red flowers. The soldier took the flower and, as a joke, put it inside the barrel of his gun and left it there while they kept waiting. This was replicated by the other soldiers, so after a few hours, the florists of the city were gifting flowers to the soldiers, giving birth to the Carnations Revolution, or Revolução dos Cravos, a strong message of a peaceful revolution, declaring how the militaries were there as a liberating force to protect their people, not to use their guns against them. Celeste was later known as Celeste dos Cravos, or Celeste of the Carnations. Last year, on the 50th anniversary of the revolution, she, with 90 years old, was honored and participated in a ceremony to recreate the event which gave the name to the peaceful revolution. She died at the end of the year, but was clearly recognized as an innocent lady with a gesture that will remain in history for many generations. The Carnation Revolution of 1974 is also known as 25 de Abril, April 25th, which is the date that the revolution occurred in Lisbon. Now is a national holiday known as the Freedom Day. The whole country stops to commemorate the revolution, celebrate freedom, and Portuguese families have the tradition to put at least one carnation flower on their home. This little flower is my homage to those who suffered but still managed to stay true, a symbol of innocence and the beauty of humanity. As always, thanks for watching and see you next time!